Welcome back to GFF and Friends, the podcast. The podcast for homeboys.
Hey, yo.
And by homeboys, I mean boys that are home. I'm back in Seattle.
And I never left.
Hi. I'm your host, GFF, a.k.a. Todd. And joining me once again after a couple of weeks away from the pod, but he's back again. It's my teeny tiny, adorable, beautiful little husband, Rob.
I am the ultimate homebody.
You are homeboy and homebody. Because you're from the streets of Palmdale and you never leave the house.
Right.
Oh, I sent you a TikTok about Palmdale. Did you get that?
Yes. I'm glad I don't know any of those people, I guess. I don't know, but although they were doing good work.
I was going to say they were all organizing for Kamala. My shirt.
So that was fabulous. But, it's one of those where, whenever someone says something like, hey, Palmdale, do you know them? I'm always like, I know very few people in Palmdale, but the people I do know in Palmdale, I adore. But yeah, I'm very proud of these people doing good work.
I have a couple favorite jokes to pull on Rob, like favorite just dad jokes that I only say to Rob. One is whenever he's driving, I like to pretend like he's an Uber and I just say, oh, I'm just going down the street. Oh, or like when we get home from a trip and we're pulling up to the house, I'm like, oh, it's just that driveway on the left. You can just let me out on the corner. Every time, it's my favorite. And then the second is whenever I see someone that went to his college or someone from his hometown, I always like to say, do you know them?
Or anyone under 5'6".
Oh, yeah. Whenever we see any tiny people, I'm like, do you know them from the meetings?
Yeah, he assumes that I know them from the meetings for the local chapter, but I have kind of been in arrears on fees,
You're
dues.
Behind on your dues.
I know. So it's a thing where at this point, they're just anyone that sees me is pretending I'm 5'11". I just don't belong anymore. It's fine.
You've been shunned by your community.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm home. Welcome back to the pod. Welcome me back to the Seattle.
Yeah, welcome you back to your show.
That's how
you
words
never left.
That's how words work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to, come home, talk about my half a month in LA, talk to you again, bring you back. People missed you.
What a trip it was.
Oh my God. 17 days is a long time.
Which we knew that. It's funny. This thing was booked so far in advance. And I think when it happened, we even said, that's a long time. Yeah. And then, as it happened, talking to my mother, whom you were house sitting for, she even said, she was like, do you guys want to do this? It's a long time. Yeah. And kept, and we were aware, but also it was kind of it was time for us to have a little bit of time apart.
I was telling people in LA, so backstory, I went to house sit for Rob's family. I kept myself busy. I recorded a shit ton of podcasts. So this is a little between LA episodes podcast to catch up with Rob.
Quick interjection here, even for my folks were going on a trip and my mom has local house sitting available to her, but she immediately called me and she was like, hey, would Todd be interested? Because she knows that Todd misses LA, misses a lot of people in LA, but also wants to be shooting content and kind of needs spaces for that sometimes. And so she literally is very much can we fly Todd out and he can just stay in our house and use it for content? And we're like, yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's very much free opportunity.
And so that's what I was saying. I was I kept myself busy by recording a bunch of content, seeing a bunch of people. I was more social in the past 17 days than I've been in the past 4 years. But also besides wanting to go down there and record content, neither Rob nor I, although Rob gets more alone time than I do because I'm the one that travels and leaves to see family. But I have not really been alone for longer than 2 days, because Rob works from home and it's not like he does business trips. When he does do business trips, he has one coming up. It is 20 hours. He is flying to California back literally in 20 hours. It's barely a spending the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I never get alone time, which alone time is self-care. Sometimes you need to be alone. We love our house, our bedroom that we record in, down here in the basement, his office, living room, upstairs. We can be away from each other. Also, we like each other. We're friends.
It's true.
We're not just husbands, but we're also friends. But sometimes you just need to be alone. I love ASMR. I need to go away and listen to my whisper clicks. Rob hates ASMR.
It makes me want to peel my skin off. It is just...
So anyway, when Rob's mom was like, hey, do you want a giant house in Glendale to yourself for 17 days with solar panels on the roof with unlimited air conditioning during a heat wave. Would you be interested in that? And I was like, sign me up twice.
And they were going on a trip. So, like, you have a car available to you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I also had a car.
Yeah, it's basically like living in Los Angeles with none of the headaches of living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And where they live is nicer than where we lived when we lived there.
Yeah.
So, kind of trading up for 2 weeks.
It was a delight. I got to see everyone I wanted to see at least once. I got to go.
You better qualify that, or like anyone listening to this is going to be. It's like when you forget to thank your mom at the Oscars. Like, yeah, ooh.
But yeah, I did. I got to see everyone I wanted to see, and a couple that I didn't. Just kidding. I went to all my favorite restaurants. I wanted to go to a couple multiple times. Like, I only got to go to Swingers once, and it was for dinner,
which is crazy.
That's our breakfast place.
I know.
One thing I will say, 3 years later, having left Los Angeles, she's busy. Okay. LA is full up. Tons of people in LA, and there's construction everywhere in weird places. So yeah, LA is back and better than ever, but she's busy and full, and it was 100 degrees every day. So like, just driving from Glendale to West Hollywood was like 45 minutes, which it always is. But, you know, pushing myself through that, I was like, I'll go to Swingers tomorrow. And then literally I went the night before my flight back to Seattle.
Well, and it is funny because every time I go to LA for work or to see family, it is one of those things where I'm always like, oh yeah, it's good to be back. And like, I look forward to kind of hitting a few little spots that are just the things that I can't get anywhere else, like, you know, Best Fish Tacos of Ensenada or whatever, and just kind of like, or Swingers, and just be like, yay. But other than that, though, I'm always ready to go now. Like, there's something about LA that is just kind of like the heat. It gets to me now. I'm surprised, but yeah, I'm always cold, but I love a hoodie. So I don't know. I love being cozy at home. I just do.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
but you're from there and you've never lived anywhere else, and so this is your first time living away from home, and you like the new place that you live in.
Yeah, it's nice.
Meanwhile, I've lived all around the world. And I found my baby. He was in LA. So
yeah, but he's not there anymore. Now he's here.
He's here. And I will say, so I had so much fun. His parents' trip was cut a little bit short due to a family emergency. So then I was in a house with two parents for like 5 days.
Which, at least, like, when it comes to the in-laws, you could have rolled much worse on that deal. Like, this could have been way worse.
They are my in-laws, but they are also my parents, and I have full range of the house and cars and autonomy.
He and my mom are like friends. They're like wine. They're wine buddies.
Yeah, she's my afternoon wine enabler and shopper and fancy restaurant go-toer. So I very much enjoyed that his parents came back and I got to spend time with them. But, you know, changes the dynamic. I don't just have free reign to come and go as I please.
Well, and like, I don't think this is a secret or whatever, but like, my stepfather is, I guess, for lack of a better word, terminally ill. And so it is just like, it's a very different dynamic, and that there's a lot of more medical equipment around, and it's just, you know, and Todd knew him long before this. Yeah. So this is a change as well. But
I mean, I'm losing a parent as well.
Yeah.
And you know, he is actively passing away, which I have family members that I've dealt with, or, you know, helped with that and lived through, but I've never lived in the same house as someone like that.
You've never had to help anyone up the stairs, or off the ground
to see what happens at midnight and to see what happens at 6 a.m. and, you know, all that stuff, like just what goes on living in a house with someone who is transitioning out of life. So
you tend to, I think you get the memories, like the positive memories with a few of the little glimmers, but yeah, I don't think you get the reality quite so much.
Yeah. And so living in it is just, it's stressful, and it's scary, and it's sad, and all that kind of stuff. So the dynamic changed for the last couple of days, but I was so glad that I was there to help, because I helped so much.
Well, and seriously, like, that is one thing. My parents definitely see Todd as both just like a fun and wonderful person to be with, because they both very much enjoy him. But on top of that, like, it is like, hey, can you clean this thing that's super up high, or can you lift this up for me, or can you do that? Like, they love to put him to work, and honestly, like, so much stuff is very easy for him that it's just like, he's like, yes. And I think Todd likes being helpful.
Yeah, I like being helpful, and they're great people to help. So, but the trip was great. I read books.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It was a good book. It's called Horror Store. If you like, you know, cute little horror. I don't want to say gimmicky books, but it's set in an IKEA clone kind of store, almost like a haunted IKEA, and the book looks like an IKEA catalog. It's very fun.
Yeah, and it's fun. And, like, normally I read a lot of books digitally, but I bought the physical copy just because it has the dimensions of an IKEA catalog, and it was just too cute to not do that way. And yeah, so I read it first, and then I passed it on to him. And
I was like, I'm going to read this in LA, and I turned on my little, AI fall jazz YouTube channels. I turned off all the lights, and I poured myself some wine, and I read that book in like 4 days because it's a really easy read.
Yeah, it's so crazy because normally I get a substantial amount of reading done while you are out of town.
Yeah.
Like I still think about that one time that you went to Missouri and I read like Gone Girl, The Disaster Artist, a bunch of comics compendiums. Like I literally read like 2 full like bookie books on top of a bunch of other stuff. And like this time I read almost all of Pet Sematary. Almost.
Yeah, you're on your Stephen King kick.
I just finished it, which I will say, and like this is just a random thing that I happened to notice reading, especially like kind of classic King right now, because in the last like month and a half I've read The Shining and Pet Sematary, and
Dr. Sleep.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking classics, like stuff from like the 70s, 80s, and so like the versions that I have are the hardcover books that my sister and I received when she was part of the Stephen King book club in the 90s. So these are all reprintings of classic King, but they have like the original style covers and stuff. It's kind of cool that they did these, but they're very much like a book club reprint.
Yeah.
And so I read The Shining, and it was fascinating because like toward the last like 100 pages, I found multiple typos, like typos, and not even like stylistic choices where like when it's from the perspective of Danny and he thinks the word sweet, S-U-I-T-E, is spelled, or when it's written from his POV, it's spelled S-W-E-E-T. And so like there's
also a lot of purposeful misspellings in the book because like cemetery.
Yeah, Pet Sematary. But yeah, like so often that's a thing. But like this was a thing where like from a normal person, not with a dialect, this was, or like a missing word, and I was just like, okay, this is a thing where this has been reprinted so many times.
Well, and it's weird because it's before machine editing, so it's not like AI messed it up.
Right, and it's just been reprinted so many times.
Books are from the 90s.
That I would assume that at this point they would have done, like, I don't know if you can't, maybe you can't do small updates to the master to sort of make sense without sort of recopywriting or something. I don't know the rules. But it's interesting because even
you'd have to change the liner notes if a new editor edited it.
Right, I guess, because like in reading Pet Sematary, I didn't find so many errors necessarily, but like I did see one completely missing letter. Like there was a space where a letter should have been, but
the letter's just gone.
It's like the printing press broke, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm curious if that's actually another printings or if it's just it's just a space there. But also there was one thing that was a factual mistake within the book itself, and it actually surprised me because they talk about one character. She has a cardiac event, but it does not kill her, and then later she has a cranial event, which does. And when they're talking about that character in retrospect, they're like, this happened, then that happened, and her fatal cardiac event, and I'm like. Or like her, fatal heart attack. And I'm like, that is not what happened.
Yeah, you said earlier she died of a stroke.
Yeah, and I'm like, and this book is very good about making callbacks to be like, where have I heard that name before? Who? And like this is the first time where I was like, this character this is a doctor. And he misidentified the death of a woman, and like literally earlier, like the book prophesizes and tells us how she will die is via a not cardiac event, is a cranial event, I believe. Anyway, but it was fascinating. So I'm having a little tangent just because,
And that's the problem when you have a selective elephant steel trap memory like Robin Darza, where you see literally things no human being has ever seen before, but it's wrong.
Now watch, I'm totally wrong, and I'm like misremembering.
But it's also part of your job. Part of your job is correcting tiny mistakes that no one would ever see, and like you can only see it with special software, but you saw it.
And there are so many like little stuff they got out there that just like that eats at me forever.
You're like, the human brain. This thing goes so fast, the human brain cannot comprehend the mistake I found, but we have to go back and fix it.
Well, I know, like on a recent like podcast, I think you talked about the how many people confess to like murder on their deathbed.
Yeah.
Like on my deathbed, I will likely be like, oh, there was an error in that thing that I made, and it came out and no one saw it, but I knew.
There was one pixel that was blue instead of red.
Seriously, there was a cursor in that shot, but no one noticed.
You have to zoom 100x to see it. But
yeah, like I feel like that'll be my deathbed stuff. Will just be all the little stuff that's been eating at me for decades, but I've never been able to tell anybody.
So if you didn't do a bunch of reading while I was gone, what did you do?
Watched movies, lots of sleeping.
You did sleep a lot. Like, that's kind of your new thing. I mean, middle age.
No, it's very much been a thing of like, 7 o'clock and the day is done for the sleep.
I mean, you are tiny, you can sleep anywhere, and your favorite thing to do is fall asleep on the sofa. You did it last night.
Yeah.
And
at about 8 p.m.
If I'm not here and about to wake you up and bring you to bed, you'll just stay there forever. But you did come to bed at what, 5:30 this morning? 5
yes,
this morning?
I woke up at 5.
And that's only because I was awake, because my tummy hurt. I had tummy troubles. But yeah, last night it was funny. It's like unpredictable. All of a sudden, Robin Darcy will fall asleep. But like, set everything down, move everything out of the way, get a blanket, cuddle up. Like, he like goes to bed on the sofa. It's not usually just an accident that he falls asleep.
Yeah, I feel it coming, but like, I can't do enough to get upstairs necessarily, but I definitely can. I can definitely prepare myself for the area that I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you're going to pass out. It's like, okay, well, I'm feeling like my capacity is leaving me. I can at least sit on the floor so I don't fall to the floor. Like, I'll just sit there. That way, when I fall, I'll just sort of collapse right here, and it's okay. And so it's like, I just sort of clear the space. I think I closed my book. I put my bookmark in, and I held my book.
Yeah.
And I just was like,
you put your phone down. You completely turned sideways and braced yourself around the dog, and you cuddled up, and it was all like, you're like, we were supposed to do something. I was playing Zelda for like 30 minutes on my Switch.
You just flipped a record.
Yeah, you put a record on. We were listening to Lady Gaga's Harlequin album.
Yeah.
And you put a record on, and you were like, I'm going to read this book. You can play Zelda, and then we'll watch a movie or something. And then he was like, nope, and literally just tucked in for the night.
And didn't say any words in the process. Like, literally just silence.
That was at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then you slept until 5 a.m. on the sofa. Yeah. I just left you. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go watch TikTok.
I do remember you eating dinner and coaxing me like 2 feet up the couch just so you had room to sit. And I remember waking up when you started a movie.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess I'll just keep playing Zelda. So I was like, I have my, Hollywood 10 that I need to watch, one of being the original Halloween. So I was like, I'm going to put on Halloween and just dim the lights and play Zelda until I go to bed. And that's what I did.
Yeah. And then,
I'd do it again.
And I woke up at 5 o'clock and wandered downstairs and went to bed in the bed. But then I woke up at like 8 o'clock being like, I am wide awake on a Sunday morning, and it's like, why? Oh yeah, because I've been sleeping for 12
hours. Yeah.
It was necessary.
Good to be home. That's
right.
Things are back to normal. The universe is correcting itself.
Yeah. No, so while you were gone, I'm trying to think what else I did. I played video games. I only finished one, and that was after you got home. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, played some games.
You went to a concert.
I did go to a concert, and that was fun. For anyone that wants to know someone awesome, if you're into like brash singer-songwriter British women, if you're into PJ Harvey, you'll probably like her. Karina Round, she's now a member of the band Pucifer with Maynard James Keenan, but her solo stuff is amazing, and she's touring to celebrate the 20th anniversary of her album The Disconnection, where she performed the entire thing start to finish and then did a couple extra tracks, and she rocked the house down boots mama in
Basement.
Seattle. Like, she kind of killed it. It was awesome.
Well, good.
So that was fun.
Yeah, when I was in LA, I realized I had so much to do and catch up on that I kind of turned my schedule into 2-block days. So I had like morning, early afternoon blocks, and then I had late afternoon, evening blocks. And I filled every single block with a different friend and a different restaurant and a different thing to do.
A podcast to record.
I actually took 4 books to read down there, and I only read one. I ended up shipping the rest back via UPS. Let them do the hard work, But yeah, every block was full for 17 days, even when Rob's parents were back. So I was very social, very exhausted. I mean, I've been back for 3 days, and I've been sleeping a ton and just not doing much. We did, though, yesterday, very exciting, something I've been thinking about for years, something I've wanted for years. We finally bit the bullet because, life is short. And we went to Costco, and we finally got the fancy 7.5 foot tall pre-lit electrified tree that I have wanted, Christmas tree that I have wanted for so long. And we finally got it. And it's just, it was the first one off the pallet. Like, no one else had gotten one yet. Granted, I get it. It's pre-Halloween. It's weird to buy a Christmas tree, but they will sell out.
Yeah, if Costco has it and you want it, like, just get it. Like, it will not be there next time, possibly, and that's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a bummer. Just get it.
And I wanted to get it last year, and I waited too long, and it was too close to Christmas, and I was like, this isn't gonna be worth it. I want to set it up early. So we finally got our new tree, and I'm so excited. But it's funny. It reminds me of something. So I was hanging out with Jack's niece and nephew. Rob's niece and nephew, Jack. And Jack was like, he's trying to like be this like cool guy with like opinions and stuff. And we went
an edgy 11-year-old.
And so we took the kids to Michael's to buy like craft supplies, and both kids were like, "Oh, why is the Christmas stuff out? It's not even Halloween. This is crazy." And I was like, first of all, you're children. But I had to explain to them, I was like, you guys, the store is not your home. It doesn't matter what's being sold in the store. It'd be weird if you put a tree up in your home right now or put Christmas lights on the outside of your house today, but a store doesn't matter. Well, you're going to a store to buy something. It doesn't dictate the holiday that is happening.
Well, and also, like, in October, I guess if you have your Christmas stuff out for sale, you should not be playing Christmas music.
Correct, and they weren't.
That is a rule I will stand by. Like, that is a thing. Like, that's a time thing. But yeah, like, seriously, get the stuff out early, sell it, like, whatever.
The whole point of selling it early is so that you have it in your home to set up when it's time to set up. Like, it doesn't make any sense, if you really think about it, to wait till December to go to a store to buy December things.
Well, one of my favorite gifts to give you for Christmas, which is also my least favorite gift to give you for Christmas, are ornaments for the tree. Mm-hmm. Because, and
that's a tradition in my family that I've grown up with, so I love it.
Right? It's fun, and I want to give them to you, but also, like, we don't get to see it for a year now?
Yeah, well, it goes on for a week.
Yeah.
And then we put it away.
And then I forget about it until the next year. I'm like, oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, and then it's a fun memory.
Yeah, but still, it's one of those where I'm like, it's one of those where, like, a gift like that needs to be opened earlier in the month.
But it's also fun to open it on Christmas Day.
It's true.
Put it on the tree, and then it's up till New Year's. Mm-hmm. And I like stuff like that. And then the next year, when you take it out of the box, you're like, oh, yeah, you got me this last year. And then it's on the tree for 6 weeks.
Knowing me with my selective steel trap memory, though, I will have forgotten, and I probably bought that for you for Christmas that year. Again. Although, luckily, Amazon is so good about, like, when you are on an item you've already bought, at the very top, it's like, you purchased this one time before, and you're like, thank you, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Nearly did that again.
Been there. But yeah, so I had to educate the kids that what they sell in a store does not dictate what time of year it is. Just get it for your home when it's time to put it up in your home. All right?
There was a fun Costco trip because only 2 impulse purchases, and they were not bad.
And only 5 purchases altogether. Like, it wasn't a full Costco trip.
Right?
We literally just went for the tree.
And toothpaste. Those were the 2 things that we went for. Which even the guy in front of us in line was making fun of that. He's like, toothpaste and a tree. I was like, literally what we came for.
Yeah.
You should see the list.
One of Rob's adorable qualities when we go shopping is it happens pretty frequently, and I really love it. He's like, I'm gonna go, you stay here, I'm gonna go run and grab this one thing that we are specifically talking about. And I'm like, okay, great. So he was like, I want to get some muffins. So I pulled over in the seafood department. He ran over to the bakery to get muffins, and he was gone forever.
Well, first off, I got confused in the bakery department because I'm used to the horrific old method where you have to get 2 racks of 6 giant muffins, and that's how you buy them. They will not let you walk out with just 6 muffins. You have to have 12.
They make you get 2 containers. It's too many muffins.
Yes, it's too much, and they're giant. And I love them, but it's too much muffin. And now they have a new situation where they have like a rectangular package of 2 rows of 4, 8 muffins, $7. That's it. You don't have to get any additional packages. You just get the 8 muffins, and they're kind of smaller and taller now. But anyway, or maybe the same height, but narrower.
They're in like the kind of Starbucks artisanal paper wrappers now.
They're like a giant cupcake size.
Yeah.
And so like I literally walked through the bakery multiple times because I was like, where are the muffins? Because they weren't how I thought.
Where are the muffins?
Where are the muffins? What have you done with them? And then I found them, and I was pleased. And then I assumed for some reason that you kept walking toward the register, but I also forgot that you literally had a tree that was giant and sticking out the front of the cart.
We should have gotten a flatbed. We only had a cart.
That like you shouldn't be moving by yourself. And so to continue my other habit of after I would go for one thing.
So he goes for one thing, and then comes back very long later with a handful of other things. And he's like, well, I saw this and I grabbed it. And it's not even like a panic thing. It's just like he ran to get something else. He saw something and he was like, I saw it and I grabbed it. So we're going to get it. And so you got some steamed buns, some steamed bao. And then wasn't there one more thing?
No, it was the muffins and the bao. I think those were the 2 impulse purchases. And then it was like
toothpaste and a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
which sounds like a really fun children's song. And then we got a pizza and hot dogs for the drive home, and it was delicious.
Well, and also just on a personal note, it was kind of fun. A new record store opened on Mercer Island on Friday, and so I got to go to that grand opening, which was fun. Get some rare stuff that I've been looking forward to. And then they had an extra thing that they couldn't find on Friday, but I knew it was there, and so they found it and held it for me, and I got it on Saturday on the way to Costco. So I got like a really old, like 1986 RuPaul record.
Is it his first one?
I don't know if it's the first. I mean, it's like from the punk days of Ru. So,
it's Star Booty, but it's not the movie.
It's not. It does say the soundtrack to Star Booty, but it's not like the Star Booty movie that was made in 2000 and blah, 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 blah. But like definitely the Star Booty character has definitely been a recurring piece of Ru history. So that was kind of fun to get.
So we got a vintage original pressing of Star Booty on vinyl.
Yeah.
And then we went to a new Costco in Issaquah. Which it's always fun to go to a new Costco and learn the layout. Thank you, Issaquah, for accepting us into your Costco. It's huge. I mean, that's the biggest one that we've gone to in Seattle by far.
It's also the most suburban.
Yeah.
Of the most suburban area.
Jam-packed. I mean,
of all those
Saturday,
we've gone to.
But jam-packed, crazy busy, but like good functional parking lot with many exits and lots of places to park. And yeah, beautiful. It's one of those Costco's that I think has everything Costco offers, because I saw things like our Costco doesn't usually have like fragrances in the beauty section and stuff like that. This one had like stuff I've seen on TikTok but never seen in a Costco. They had everything. So highly recommend the Issaquah. And you know what? It's almost time-wise equidistant to our Costco, but ours takes side streets to get to.
Stop and go.
So it's like 30 to 45 minutes. And that one we can take all freeway all the time. Still 30 to 45 minutes. So it's like, which would you rather do?
Seriously, there is something about just being able to cruise at speed over a distance versus just the herky-jerky closeness of something that's, more city close.
Yeah. But yeah, so just a great little homecoming, and it's been such a delightful week. It's raining, it's cold, it's fall, it's perfect. Everything, like the leaves are falling.
Seattle was Seattling when you came back.
Seattle was Seattling hard, and still is, and I feel like I'm in a Hallmark movie. So it's good to be back.
Oh,
and
maybe you'll find love.
Fingers crossed.
Right?
I know
Good
he's
luck
out
to you.
there. But, I think that's a good time to transition to our final segment, which is What's Your Order? What's Your Order? It's been so long since I've sung that song to you.
Oh, it's so funny. Like, randomly, I was like, what else was I doing while you were gone? I did projects. Now, sorry, before we get into this, like, quickly, I did a Lego project, which was super cool.
Oh, yeah.
I did the Mario Piranha Plant. Adorable.
So cute.
And also, I finally went through all of the DVDs and like entered into catalog, but also like pared down the collection, created a pile of stuff that like we need to watch to decide whether or not it stays or goes.
Yeah.
Because, both of us have never seen Chinatown. Why do we own it? Because we need to watch it.
Yeah, and I was looking at the stay or go pile, and there's stuff in there that I'm pretty sure is probably out of print.
There might be some stuff that might be worth something.
There's reasons why you have to hang on to physical media, because it's not streamable and it's disappearing.
But if it's a movie that we hate, we don't need to hang on to that. So so it was interesting. Like, and I did watch some movies like while you were gone, even of like I'd never seen The Crying Game. Finally watched that,
and now you know.
And now I know
all there is to know about it.
I do know all there is to know, and that movie's like wild. Not just for the reasons everyone talks about. Like, there's a lot more going on.
It's
in that
a good
movie.
film.
It's very interesting, and I do feel like we don't see the wild swings toward plot that we're meant to just accept in movies now. Like, we don't see as much a thing of like, oh, it's a person, but they have amnesia, and just go with it. Or like, oh yeah, this person's going to seduce the former lover of the person that they killed. Because
what
why
are you
not?
saying?
Like, I'm just saying, it's like, no, I'm saying like there are some crazy leaps in logic of just like, oh, these are all right, fine. I'm just saying, like, I feel like a lot of movies now, like aside from like supernatural stuff that you accept, they don't, like, drama movies don't make these weird like leaps in like leaps of faith for the viewer to sort of accept as much. I don't know, or maybe I just don't watch those movies now.
Okay, nerd.
Just saying.
Anyway,
no, like that movie was fascinating.
I'm glad you cleaned up the DVD collection. It'll be nice to, have places to put new things, because now we're doing that thing where we're stacking things on top of stacks.
Yeah, stacks on stacks.
Yeah, but anyway.
Okay, sorry.
This is our last segment. as you know, called What's Your Order, where we're going to pull something out of the box. It used to be restaurants in LA. I started the fast food restaurants over so people didn't have to think too hard. But now we're back to the crazy Seattle box, which could have anything that has anything to do with food in it. So, you know what, Rob, since you haven't been on the pod for a while, why don't you choose? So, and today's What's Your Order is,
excuse me,
as you choke to death,
iced cream.
Ice cream! Delicious. I actually went to Pinkberry while I was in LA with my friend Jordan.
You took a trip into the past?
It was 2009 realness. It was delicious, actually. It was really good. I never did Pinkberry. And it's funny because she only does the original tart. Like back in the day, Pinkberry had one daily flavor, or like one recurring flavor, which was original tart yogurt. And then they did a different flavor next to it every day. So every day you could only get 2 flavors. Now they have, it's almost like a Menchie's. Now it's full flavors.
Oh, okay. Because like
which do rotate, but at least there's like 8.
I think I've ordered Pinkberry once, and I hated the tart yogurt so much that I never came back.
I did not like it.
I was a Yogurtland guy because they had chocolate and or peanut butter or cookies and cream kind of yogurt. So yeah, Pinkberry is the devil for me.
Yeah, the other ones just do, Frogurt, but Pinkberry was like artisanal, like less sugar, more tart, and it was just
more
gross.
Lululemon pants.
But now they have a full like candy, toppings bar.
So they've recognized what sells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was delicious and fun. I haven't had a build your own cup of Frogurt in quite some time. I don't even know if there's like Menchie's and stuff up here.
I feel like I've seen we have Salt and Straw.
Well,
I feel like we don't really see a lot of,
cream,
but I feel we don't have a ton of Frogurt type situations here.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a big part of LA. Like LA is like, well, back in the day was like donut shops and Frogurt shops. Like that was everything. And there was several different brands and companies and stuff. Up here, I don't even know. I know they have them. I just don't even know where.
We have 2, because like here I feel like we have 2 chains of like crafty donut places, and we have just a ton of freestanding espresso and coffee stands.
Yeah. The coffee hut.
Well, because we are definitely I think even no one's gonna be surprised here. Statistically, we are the most caffeinated per capita populace. I think of coffee shop to people.
Yeah, it's like the Seattle food industry is based on coffee and salmon. So ice cream. I put ice cream in there. Excuse me, just burped. I put ice cream in there because there's so many directions ice cream can go. It's so funny. I kind of feel like we need to like do a spin-off podcast of just, each season do 10 episodes about one specific thing, like breakfast, like we had talked about before. But so ice cream, I think I'm going to just say basic flavors instead of brands. Although I will say Ben & Jerry's is my favorite brand. It's the richest. It has the highest fat content. It's the creamiest. It's better than any other, by the pint freezer section ice cream. It's better than Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs kind of tastes watery to me sometimes. Ben & Jerry's is just rich and creamy. And I'm just going to go OG and say I either get peanut butter cup or cookie dough. Those are my top 2. I do love a lot of other flavors like fish food. I'll go down a fish food hole for quite some time. But sometimes chocolate ice cream flavoring can be kind of acidic and just a little too much to me. Like it kind of sticks in the back of my throat. But yeah, fish food is delicious. And then I also love their like core flavors that have like brownie batter or salted caramel.
American Dream.
I was going to say, and then that doesn't have a core. That just has mix-ins.
It's so good though.
Yeah, but American Dream. My favorite Ben & Jerry's, which was discontinued, was the Jimmy Fallon one. I think it was before he was on the Tonight Show. So it was just like late night. It was called Late Night Snack, I believe. It was chocolate covered potato chips and salted caramel swirls. It was so good. I used to like stock up on it because it was hard to find. And now I think he has one that's called like the Tonight Dough or something.
Oh.
And it's when he transitioned from his late night show to the Tonight Show, they redid his flavor. And I miss the chocolate covered potato chip Ben & Jerry's because it was so good, because it just had like the best caramel swirls in it and stuff. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, cookie dough is probably my favorite ice cream flavor ever. But I'll get down on a mint chocolate chip, which I know you don't really like.
Not my thing.
I love a mint chocolate chip, especially if you go to like a scooping place like Disneyland. I'll do like a scoop of mint chocolate chip on the bottom of the cone, and then I'll do cookie dough on top of that, and it kind of mixes together, and it's just all yummy and delicious.
right,
but what
then.
about you? What's your?
Well,
I mean, I know what your ice cream du jour is.
You've already done, like, I've had a TikTok done about the quirks of how I eat ice cream.
Oh, that's right, because yours isn't just flavor.
Yeah, mine's more about, there's a certain quality to it. So in general flavor, I like chocolate. I'm a big fan of like chocolate, the darker, the chocolatier, the just chocolate.
Hardcore.
But also I love cookies and cream. Like cookies and cream is just a flavor that I'm down for in candy bar, cookie, cake, whatever. I don't care. Ice cream. Love it. So big cookies and cream guy. One of my old favorites of ice cream that I have not seen in years, I'm assuming it's just been done away with, was marble fudge, which is basically just vanilla with the veins of.
It's hard to find. We tried to find it that one time. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
I think Thrifty does it in Rite Aid. Right?
Maybe because it was so good. It was like I love that sort of fudgy. Traces of chocolate, like syrup, but not like chocolate chip ice cream. No, chocolate chips are not meant to be that cold because they just turn to powder. Like they're not chocolatey, they don't melt anymore, and I don't like that. So big fan of that. But here's where everyone gets weirded out. I like my ice cream so unbelievably frozen that you have to chew it. I like it. What people, all the comments are referring to it as a spoon bender, because when you dig into it, you have to brace that spoon or have a damn good one, because I'm digging into ice blocks.
Yeah, you have to chip it out.
Yeah, so I go full elbow up, leverage in, dig, chew, prepare and dig again. Like I'm just like, and so there's a brand actually from Whole Foods that I love called Acme, and it's literally has like a pull quality to it.
Yeah.
It's very, very thick. So that's a thing. I love a cheap ice cream sandwich. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Love a cheap ice cream sandwich.
The brownie one.
Yes. Or just where it's the chocolate cookie on top that always sticks to your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Love a Snickers ice cream bar.
Oh yeah, we did eat a lot of those this summer.
Yeah. I love a waffle cone. I love waffle cones.
They're good.
And yeah, I'm trying to think, ice cream, that's basically it, I'd say. But yeah, so I think that's a pretty good.
Also, there's not a lot of ice creams that I would kick out of bed. I don't like the super dark chocolatey ones. Like as long as they add like enough sugar and kind of cream to make it worth it. But some chocolate ice creams can be like baker's chocolate.
I don't know if I've ever had a chocolate ice cream that's been too dark or too bitter to eat.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like a chocolate bar has challenged me or pushed me out of my comfort zone. Ice cream is always sweet enough.
Did you say your number 2 go-to flavor was coffee?
Oh, I forget that I was
since we moved to Seattle.
Yeah, I was never a coffee ice cream guy, but Whidbey Island Ice Cream Company makes a very good Mulkiteo espresso or whatever. It's so good.
Yeah, and so you're a big coffee ice cream guy.
I am.
And you also love it, sir, like an affogato. It's just a scoop of ice cream with an espresso on top.
Yeah, that's actually a big post-dinner thing for me, especially when I'm at like my
in
parents.
LA, because they have the espresso machine.
Because they have an espresso maker, and they always have vanilla ice cream, and so I'm always just like, get me an espresso cup. We're doing it.
Your mom loves a scoop of ice cream on a cake or on a pie. Like she's like, you want a scoop?
Right, and I love a post-dinner coffee.
Yeah.
Instead of dinner or instead of dessert. So like it's they have the stuff.
Oh, I love ice cream so much.
Right?
The other one I just realized that we kind of missed was soft serve. Dairy Queen. I will fuck up a Blizzard. Okay, I am all about a Blizzard my whole life. A technique I used to do. So Snickers Blizzard is my favorite. I will go ham on a Snickers Blizzard till the day I die. But what I used to do when I was a kid, because this is what, growing up as a foodie in a food scarcity situation, aka I wasn't allowed to go buy my own food, I would get a Snickers Blizzard at Dairy Queen with the fam. I would go through and I would take out every piece of Snickers and kind of suck the ice cream off of it and set it to the side. And I would eat my Blizzard. And then at the end, I would take a bunch of those Snickers chunks and just eat them like I had a Snickers candy bar. And that was kind of my workaround to not being allowed to buy candy bars all the time. I would make my own candy bar out of Snickers pieces.
All right, then.
Almost like a Franken Snickers.
Yeah,
and I did the same thing with cookie dough, too, because sometimes, I've said it before, I just want a mouthful of something. Like a mouthful of Rolos. I'm going to put 5 Rolos in my mouth. I'm going to put 4 peanut butter cups in my mouth. I just want a mouthful of something.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to do all 5 pieces of bubble yum
gum.
Like at once.
Yeah.
Which that is a serious choking hazard for a child.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
Having a mouthful of
5
gum. Oh,
pieces
it's so
of
fun.
bubble yum chunks of sour cherry gum at once is Like,
It feels like you're accomplishing something.
I'm actually salivating just thinking about
Yeah.
that sour cherry vibe, and it lasted so long. Or like the cotton candy that turned your mouth purple.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Anyway, but no, it's like,
Well, and I was going to say that was the other thing. When they may have had bubblegum ice cream forever, but I remember
not my
discovering it when I was like 10, and I obviously wanted it right away because it was bright blue, and then it had thousands of gumballs in it, and I was like, I want that. And you know, it's very weird as an adult to think of eating ice cream and having 8 gumballs in your mouth at once, but as a kid, that is a dream. Just to have a mouthful of gum. It's almost like a blow pop, you know,
Right.
like you have something to show for your work at the end.
Well,
a
it's like-
mouthful of gum.
well, it's like if you took a pack of bubble tape and just chewed the whole thing, which I have also done.
I always wanted to break open a bubble tape dispenser and just take a bite out of it.
Oh, I've done it. But also I've also sat there with the dispenser and just gone and just kind of fed it into my mouth.
Yeah.
For 6 feet.
I say it all the time. I want to eat like a candy bar or gum like a steak. I want to like just take a fork and a knife and cut out a big chunk and just have a mouthful of it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like pica or whatever. I just need a mouthful of something to eat and chew.
Pica is specifically about nutrient disorders where you eat non-edible things like dirt and clay. So that is not that.
Oh, okay.
But I think
so. It's not. So pica is like it's a nutrient thing. It's not a texture thing.
Pica is literally, statistically, it most happens in, I believe, developing countries where pregnant women are not getting the nutrients they need, so they eat dirt and clay to make up for probably, I'm guessing, iron and various nutrient
I
deficiencies.
thought it was like those women that eat drywall and stuff.
It's not my strange addiction. It's more of it's like your body
It's a nutrient-based
is
thing.
driving you to do something. At least that's
right.
my understanding, but also I'm not a scientist.
You're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. Do not take anything. Like, we should put a disclaimer up. Nothing I say should be taken as medical advice. Just don't do
Ever.
it.
Yeah. We don't want to become one of those podcasts.
No.
But yeah, I really hope that we go out and get some ice cream now today.
I mean, like, you can take our advice on ice cream, though. That's pretty good.
Because the other thing that has changed my life, lactate pills. I have a pocket full of them right now. I carry it with me now because I have discovered the joy of lactate pills and the technique, how to use them. I've tried them in the past and I was like, I don't think they did anything, but I was taking them wrong. And now I know how to take lactate pills. And I know that you can take more than one, different times of the meal. It's helped my guts so much.
Well, and I feel like I did the lactate thing through my teens into my 20s, and it just was like, maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. And now I've discovered the joys of never leaving the house. So I can have ice cream and then just go by myself somewhere.
Yeah. Take some alone time.
Yeah. Like, just, it'll be fine. But yeah, because at least, like, I have, like, stomach discomfort. I know people who get, like, sick. And yeah, that is not where I'm at. I don't think I'd be able to handle that. But I've a mild little tummy trouble and some gas. Sorry if you're around me. I had fun.
Well, and also we've discovered Lactaid makes cottage cheese. That's pretty delicious.
Yeah.
And they make ice cream.
Yes, which is hard to find sometimes.
Yeah. And but it's funny because it's one of your favorite flavors is cookies and cream.
Yeah, but it's definitely But the Lactaid ice cream, I find you cannot freeze hard enough for me to enjoy it the way I want to.
Yeah, it doesn't freeze the way you want
Which
it.
I'd say probably most people think that's actually great. It's a very airy, fluffy ice cream, and it's like no. I want something so dense.
Yeah.
Like,
I need to chew it like bubble gum.
It's a very specific problem that I have, and also some people are always weirded out that I have no feeling in my teeth, and I have plenty of feeling in my teeth. My teeth are just fine with cold things.
Yeah. You chew ice all day. You're just one of those people. You're just one of those people. Well, I hope that you guys out there get to enjoy some delicious ice cream now that we've talked about it, because we definitely are.
And a lot of places in this country, actually, it's still kind of more ice cream weather than it is here.
Yeah, it's cold and rainy here, but still ice cream
We'll make
worth
it work.
it. Yeah, but all right. Well, that was a fun episode, just to reintroduce Rob back into the show since it's been a couple of weeks. But now I have, I think, 4 or 5 banked episodes from LA to release over the next month. So
You'll see me probably in a few weeks.
yeah, we might just splice Rob in every few weeks just to check in on the little man. What's going on in the small community?
It will likely be not a whole lot.
Great. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and listening and subscribing and telling your friends and all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye. Welcome back.
Thanks.